So cliche, no motherfucking time. So I've got 4 screws drilled into my spine, as well as 2 metal rods lodged into my spine, and 2 metal cages. One cage connecting my pelvis to my spine, and another cage connecting my spine to itself. Titanium, medical grade, very expensive. I basically feel like Builder's Warehouse, but on the inside. So you're probably wondering what happened. Well, in 2021, my spine switched off like it was undergoing load shedding stage 6. Remember that bullshit? Anyway, immediate paralysis set in and I was rushed into hospital for a bunch of emergency procedures. The strange thing is, a part of my spine sequestrated into my spinal cord, causing me to go paralyzed from the waist down. Although I couldn't move anything, I could still feel everything, and it felt as if my nervous system was on fire. Anyway, I was rushed in for all these emergency operations. My job at the time was not metaphorically backbreaking, it was quite literally backbreaking. Ironically, 3 years later, I ended up losing the job. And while undergoing all of that bullshit, like institutional bullying, unemployment, and a CCMA case, my spine decided, hey, great, time for a sequel, and my back broke again. And in I was rushed to hospital to have all of those procedures done all over again. And I really do feel like at this point in my life, my spine is at more revivals than Cats at Peter Turin's theatres. But what the past few years have taught me, despite being really sucky, is that rock bottom comes in installments. Just when you think you've hit the lowest of the low, boom, there's another trapdoor to fall through. And at this point, I'm really hoping that I've fallen through all of the trapdoors to land at the cellar door, because I could really do with a fucking drink right now. And yes, I'm fully aware that there's a floor below me waiting for me. In fact, I already have a sign saying, welcome Gavin, we've been expecting your sorry ass. You know, I think if I did drag, or if I was a drag queen, my drag name would be something along the lines of misalignment. And I would be serving 3 looks: slipped, fused, and gap cover. If Strauss & Co. ever had to put my spine on auction, I think they would describe it as something along the lines of an early Krastin, heavily used, major restoration required, bidding starts at 1 sympathy card and a cortisone injection. My spine is no longer a column but a completely collapsed government department, fucked, with every vertebra acting as an unresolved email chain. I think if a gangster had to see my spine, he would be awarded a 300 million rand tender to fix it, but then of course outsource all the vertebrae to placeholder directors. I think if a whistleblower had to see my spine, it would be flagged as a high-risk supplier. Yes, my spine is tender. My spine is very tender, but very much like a government tender. Irregular, questionable, awarded under suspicious circumstances. My spine is a national key point, not because it's important, but because it's completely fucked, like our government. I think, or I can't help feel, that this body of mine has been bought off Temu or something, and it's come along with a bunch of self-assembly instructions and a missing Allen key. Step 1, insert screws. Step 2, lose all hope. Step 3, return to theatre. This body of mine reads as an artist's statement that could have gone through at least 3 more drafts. Oh, and I said I was working this back-breaking job. I was working at the cult known as Rhodes University. Rhodes didn't just dismiss me, they returned me to sender. Apparently I was too broken for the institution, which is rude considering they've been broken since their inception in 1904. It's as if they saw me walking down the corridors and they were like, oh hell no, we can't deal with another historical ruin. My spine isn't the only thing that's compromised. At Rhodes University, the leaking ceiling was awarded a promotion before me. The cracks in the walls was awarded tenure. And the mold became the professors, if not the head of department. By the time Rhodes was done with me, my mental health was downgraded from stable to experimental installation. By the time Rhodes was done with me, my own therapist had to book herself into a clinic, invoke her P&B rights, and she cited me as the precipitating event. Although the past few years have been really shitty, and although the past few years may make it seem as if the joke is on me, I don't necessarily think so. Because every time my body failed me, I made art. Every time my spine collapsed, I wrote another grant application. And every time an institution said, "Gavin, you're too much for us," I said, "Well, bitch, throw a spotlight on it." I may be patched together, I may be barely standing, but that's just it. I still am standing. So if this body, if this budget spine, this discontinued model, this site-specific disaster can still make it, and make it through capitalism, academia, multiple spine surgeries, then I solemnly and sincerely believe that so can you.